Welcome to the Thoroughly Wrong Project with Lalo and Bob. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. Let's jump right into that weekly dose of things you can disagree with. Take it away, guys.
And guess what, man? We're live again, and this is number 57. I'm pretty excited about that because I'm 57. There you go. This should be a
Yeah,
good
Super
one.
Bowl 57.
Yeah, man. That's how I've always known what Super Bowl is. It's my age.
Oh,
I'm as old
really?
as the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're like you're like those people that were born in the year 2000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So their age is just the year.
You don't have to memorize anything. So
Yeah.
it's Super Bowl 57, and I'm rooting for no one. I don't care. Doesn't
I want
matter.
the Eagles to win.
I kind of do. I kind of do. But then, I was thinking I want the Eagles to win because they Kansas City obviously has a long road in front of them of success because of the quarterback and all. But then I thought, well, so doesn't Philadelphia with Hurts.
Yeah. I just want
So
them to win because if Patrick Mahomes gets 2 rings, he's closer to Tom Brady, and we can't have that around here.
eventually someone will beat it.
I mean, as long as it's not in my lifetime, then that's fine with me. So I could die saying he's the GOAT.
But he is, man. He is
Oh,
because
definitely.
as football progresses, as it gets older, it feels like it gets easier, and there's more games, and there's more teams, and it gets easier to accrue Super Bowls and victories and all that shit. So
Yeah.
like what's his name? OJ Simpson did 2,000 yards in what, 12 games.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's definitely one of the greatest running backs of all time. But now people do 2,000 yards all the time. So, but they
Oh
got
well, when it
16
comes
to
to
do
running
it.
backs, 2,000 yards, it's still not very common.
Is it not?
I think the last person to do it was Adrian Peterson in like
All right.
2012.
Really? They got
Yeah,
16 games and they can't get 2,000?
yeah, it's hard, and I mean
Well, it's a
the teams,
passing,
yeah,
it's a
teams
passing
pass a lot
fleet. So
more,
yeah,
um, and then running backs in general, just like they're not as important as they used to be. Like being a great running back doesn't mean like it's not what it used to be because they're very like replaceable and
yeah.
um,
It's you don't
injury
have the
prone, things like that.
yeah you don't have the Francos and the Franco Harris and all of that those guys anymore. So
Yeah.
what was that dude's name for Houston Oilers? Uh, used to have the tearaway shirt. Just like running into a brick wall. They said, but nowadays, who's the famous running back now?
Um,
I
like
don't know.
Christian
I
McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. Um,
don't know any of
it's
those
like it's a
names.
different like breed of running backs, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think now to be like a successful running back, you almost have to be like a Swiss Army knife. You have to catch, you have to block, you have to run routes well. Um,
and occasionally you
can't
have to pass even.
yeah, yeah, you can't really be a one trick pony at running back because you know you'll uh you'll get replaced pretty quick that way, especially if you get hurt.
Well, now it's the Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm not excited because none of my teams are there. So whatever, I'm gonna watch it. My wife's a Kansas City fan because of Mahomes because he's cute.
Has she heard his voice? You talk like
Yeah,
Kermit the Frog.
we were talking about that yesterday, and I said he sounds like a fucking Muppet. So, but they'll probably win. Kansas City will probably win.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's a very good matchup. Um, Pretty like evenly matched teams. I would say it was like throughout the year it was the two best teams in the league.
Yeah,
So it's definitely like the best going against the best.
it should be a
Um,
good game. I hope. I mean, some Super Bowls in the recent past have not been very good. So, but it was a good playoff season.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. So I hope may the best team win. I could care less which one it is, but I hope it's Philadelphia just because Kermit the Frog doesn't need two rings, like you said.
Well, I'm sure he'll get more than what he has now, but I just want him to take it a little slow.
Yeah, he could if he accrued if he gets another one now, and he could accrue seven real right quick, way faster than Brady did. You don't want that
Yeah,
to
well,
happen.
Mahomes isn't. He's 27 right now, so he's not like. I mean, he's young, but he's like uh not that young, you know.
That's
And I
true. I
mean,
never thought of that.
getting to the Super Bowl is a lot. I feel like the Patriots during like their, you know, prime years, like they made it look so easy to where people think like any team could do that just by having like a really good quarterback. And I mean,
Yeah,
Mahomes really is like the exception because he's been a starter for 5 years, and every year he's been to like the AFC Championship, you
yeah,
know. But I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks where their rookie year, their second year, they like break out, and you think like, oh man, these guys are going to be good for a long time. But then it's just like hard. It's like Rodgers. Remember Aaron Rodgers?
yeah,
He won the Super Bowl in 2010, and that team was like great, and everybody's like, man, they're going to be in this thing every year, and they haven't even gone back since.
right.
The Seahawks with Russell Wilson, they won it in 2012, and that team was elite, and or they won in 2013, sorry, and then in 14 they made it back, and then they haven't been back since.
Yeah,
So it's definitely a lot harder than it looks or than it seems. I think the Patriots were just very um, like they spoiled a lot of like fans and people watching the games because they just thought like, oh man, like if the Patriots could do it, they have this fucking skinny, slow running back.
yeah.
We can do it with fucking Patrick Mahomes.
When I was a kid, between I think 74 and 82 or 83, the Steelers won four. So it was the same
Yeah,
thing. I was spoiled. I was just like, we're there every year. We're in the playoffs every year. And of course, we're winning the fucking Super Bowl. We're the Steelers. And then the 80s and the 90s were just like, oh, shit. But the game changed. The game changed a lot
yeah,
with free agency, and you put a team together and they're together for a year because you've only signed your free agents for a couple years, and then boom, you're back to where you were.
yeah. That's another big reason why it's so hard to stay consistently good
Yeah,
because of the parity in the NFL. The NFL is really good, like parity when it comes to um, team balance, team strength balance, and the
yeah,
worst team gets the number one pick every year,
yep.
so it helps them, and the salary cap, and obviously if you have a good team, you're gonna have good players, and if you have good players, they're gonna want to get paid, and you can't pay them all, so you're gonna have to trade some or let some walk. Um,
Everybody wants to get paid, man.
yeah, so it's very hard to keep like a team together, and especially even if you don't keep them together, it's very hard to like stay good that way.
Yeah,
A lot of teams will have like small windows, 3-4 years of where they're really good, and then like the big contracts start coming in, so they have to let some people go. Um, but that's why the Patriots, what they did was like so impressive because they did it for 20 years.
yeah.
Um, but I'm just
But
glad I
when
was
you
able to
have
see it.
Tom Brady under center, man, come on. That
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say it's a lot of Tom, but it was also a lot of Bill Belichick,
Yeah,
and like his mentality, um, like his approach to games, his approach to like how to build a team. He likes a lot of like versatile players. He likes a lot of like smart players. Like
yeah,
to him, he'd rather you be a smart player than a good player. You know, because when you're a smart player, you know what to do. You're gonna be where you have to be on every play, to make the plays that you need to make, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um,
Intelligent football is better than strong football.
yeah. So
Strong and dumb.
yeah, those two like complement each other very well. And I mean, without each other, I don't think they're, they don't have the six rings that they have um, without Tom or without Bill Belichick.
Yeah, they won't be back for a long time.
Who are the Patriots?
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
yeah. They'll be back about the same time the Steelers are back. There you go. And then you and I can have a real fight about this. Hey man, I did something major again. Fuck, I got
What'd you
sober
do?
again. I got completely fucking sober this time. No half, no. I'll drink on weekends. None of that shit. I just sobered up, and I think I found the secret here, Lalo.
What is it?
Well, this started because I was going to go to work. I'm going to go back to work for the county. I passed the test. And by the way, was that Francisco you? Are you up for RS?
What do you mean? I've been
I
in
got.
RS.
Oh, I thought you're an RSA.
No, I got promoted to RS
Oh,
in
okay.
June or July.
Oh, okay. Didn't know. I got a call. I got a call from HR for a Francisco to set up an interview, and I had to call him back and say you got the wrong number. It's like because they called me to set up the interview. I interviewed Wednesday, but anyway, I decided I'm going to go back to work for the county as an RS, so I can make some money and do some good. And I said, well, I got to get sober because got to pass the test. And this time after the 5 days of the shakes and the shits and the all the things that come with detox.
hmm
At the end of that 5-6 days, it changed from I gotta get sober to I want to get sober. And it was the first time in my life since I've been 12 years old. I started smoking pot in 1977 and pretty much smoked pot every day since then. Yeah. So, and every time I had to quit, it was like, well, I got to quit for a job or I got to quit for, I got to pass a test or I got to do this. So I have to. So I've been surrounded my whole life by people who smoke weed and drink and party. And that's just my life. That's just what I was or what I am actually. And, I think the secret here is instead of I I have to get sober. Now I want to for the first time in my life, and I'm beginning to see the people around me in a different light. And that puts me in a different light. And it's like, oh fuck man, I want out of this life. And I'm doing pretty good, Lalo. I'm actually doing well. I stopped smoking weed, stopped drinking. I even stopped drinking coffee to get
Oh,
rid of
really?
yeah, all the stimulants, all the mind altering shit in my life. Now I'm at day 20, and this morning I woke up at 5 o'clock and I feel good, and I'm exercising every day. I never stopped exercising, but my exercise was always like fueled by this fucking caffeine. You know, that's all I had. So I do hit exercises, hit workouts, and I time them, and my times went way the fuck up, man, in the first 10 days. Like what used to take me 20, 30 minutes was taking me an hour. And now my times are back down. I'm actually feeling good. I'm losing weight. I feel good, man. I'm sober. I'm stone cold sober for the first time since the 70s. It feels weird.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's good. Especially because you're like you said, it's not because you need to, but because you want to.
Yeah. And that's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. And because I would get sober and there'd be that end date. Well, my piss test is on the 21st. By God, we're going to have a party on the 22nd. And I was very envious of the people around me and like, oh, fuck, man, I got to do this. I got to hold out for as long as I can, and and then I'd piss clean and we'd be like, yay. And then we fucking party and do bongs and all kinds of shits, and I'd go right back to feeling shitty. And I never equated that feeling shitty with my health. It was always just like, that's a part of my life. I party, therefore I feel shitty. And now it's just like, I don't care what my piss test is. It doesn't matter, because afterward, I'm still going to be sober. And I know it's going to be a different looking road, um, because I do have that date. I will have that date. And after that date there's going to be another adjustment. But I keep adjusting,
Yeah.
with my feelings. And like last night we went out to dinner, and it's the first time in a long time that I didn't want to drink with my dinner, and I didn't want to. And it's really, really feels just fucking weird, man, that I spent 40 fucking years doing that cycle over and over and over. I get clean for a little while because I knew, you know, I'd let my liver heal up, or I'd need to piss for a test for a job, or I need to take a break because my lungs are burning. But now I just see this road ahead of me as like, it's cloudy. You know what I mean? I don't know what's out there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You're kind of just going with the flow and taking it day by day.
Yeah, yeah. Less busy, more be, just
I
just
like
being
that.
me, just chilling. And I know, dude. I think how many times I've probably gotten sober 3 or 4 times since we started doing this podcast, but it's always been as soon as I pass that test.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm doing good. I
No,
thought you
that's
should
good.
know. I thought you should know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, people say congratulations to me a lot, and that makes me wonder what they think about themselves.
What do you mean?
Not you, because you don't use, but
Oh,
like
that like
people.
they're like I could never.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh wow, congratulations, dude. That's hard." Yeah, it is hard. And why don't you do it? No, I can't do that. It's fucking crazy. It's like exercise and eating right. It The last 7 years of my life has been this continuous improvement. So I stepped out of the shower that one day and burst into tears because there was a fat, pasty looking motherfucker in the mirror, and I was like, "Whoa, who is that?" So that was the beginning of that journey, and it just keeps getting better. I keep improving. I drop sugar. I stop rubbing snuff, and then the diet. I became vegetarian, or became a pescatarian, and then a vegetarian, and then a vegan, and then a whole food vegan, and now dropping alcohol, dropping drugs. It's just this. I have a clear mind and clear goals for the first time in my life. Very strange.
No, that's good. It's always good to have like goals that you're chasing because it kind of keeps you like motivated, you know.
Yeah. I don't know what, but like I said, I don't know. I think the goal for me is very selfish at this point, because it's like a couple years ago, I came to this, I got this idea. I was like, I wonder what it would be like to be like Tom Brady and TB12, and
Uh-huh.
everything is measured, everything is researched, all the science is there, everything is there for me to live this life of complete perfect health, like this perfect machine. And you give the machine everything it needs, and it burns everything up, and there's nothing left over, and you just keep that flow. TB12 is about a flow. It's about a health flow. You roll with it all. And I always thought, I wonder what that's like. And now I'm finding out, and man, dude, it's fucking great. I mean, it is amazing to feel like this, dude. I seriously, I woke up at 5 o'clock. I didn't hit the snooze button. I sat up. I told Alexa to turn on all the lights, and I watched a documentary about a paleo diet, and which I don't agree with, but I wanted to know about it anyway because it's out there. But there's just this clarity that I've never actually felt before, and now I'm wondering, does this get better? Is there's it, what have I been missing all this time that I've been shoving trash and garbage into my body and not taking care of myself, you know?
Yeah. No, I
So
mean, I
I got to
know.
get Brady's book.
Yeah, I remember. Like, I don't know too much about like his whole like TB12 method. I just know like the workouts he does are very they're different than typical
Yeah,
workouts you would expect for a football player. Um, he's not too worried about like getting stronger,
right.
or getting bigger. For him, it's about making sure that his body can sustain like durability and they call it pliability.
Yeah.
Um, Instead of making your muscles like shorter and stronger, he wants to make them longer and softer. And I mean, I don't know like the science behind that, and I'm sure there's like probably not much because it's
But it works for him.
yeah. Um, because I mean, he does a lot of like band exercises and like low weight, like low resistance type of things.
Yeah.
And I mean, they say it helps prevent injuries and treat them and recover faster. Um, and I mean, like you said, it works for him, and um, it seems to be like uh, doing something. Because I know even Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah, of course.
He
Number
was very
87, baby.
injury prone too, especially like in the middle of his career. Um, he had like this one freak injury, and then it was like one after the other after that. And at some point, he started doing like the TB12 method with Tom, and he was like, it was like towards the end of his career, which if anything, that's when you would probably get more injury. When you're older, your body's beaten up,
Yeah, of
and
course,
he
like
was good.
mine.
He was healthy. He was able to like sustain health for the whole seasons at a time. Whereas before, like for Gronk, that was like unheard of to like stay healthy for a whole season. He would always hurt something and miss some time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's probably like a low or a small sample size, but um, it's definitely there's probably definitely something to it. And then there's like the diet part also.
Yeah.
He's like a 80% vegetarian, and the other 20% is like lean um, protein, like chicken, fish, things like that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about stopping uh, dropping the vegan and going to grass-fed organic lean proteins because I want to drop all processed food out of my life, and tofu is highly processed. It's not anything that it's soybeans that come out of the ground and then it ends up, a white block on your table. That's not cool. So I want to drop that. I've been thinking about that a lot. I know
Okay,
I've been a vegan for 7 fucking years, and I'm sitting here thinking, I may need to drop that. Yeah,
that's a big change.
yeah, it's science, man. But speaking of workouts, dude, I have not lifted weights. I have not picked up a weight in 2 years. All my exercises are body weight. I do high intensity interval training and all body weight, all of it. No bands, no weights, no nothing, and I'm in peak physical shape right now. I can't explain to people. They're like, "Oh, I got to go to the weight room." Like, no, you don't, man. You don't. You're hurting yourself. You're tearing your fucking muscles to pieces every single day, every single time you work out, and you're just making them bigger for no reason. So I'm going to change up. I'm going to do some research, change up again. I think the last 20 days has really helped me because a lot of the inflammation in my body is gone. All the arthritis is starting to fade back out because of the alcohol's gone. So
They now feel bad for going to the gym and doing weights.
I do. I do. I rip myself to pieces, man. And now you know where my gym is? It's right next to my fucking bed, and I got a pull up bar. I got a pull up bar in my bathroom door. That's it. That's all I use. One pull up bar. So my gym membership is free. You should try
Oh,
out. You
that's
should
good.
try out the TB12. Or see, I found this thing a long time ago, like 5 years ago, called Tabata, and
Hmm.
it's high intensity interval training, and this Japanese guy, Doctor Tabata, he came up with these. It's 5 minutes on, and it's like 5 minutes. The whole workout's 5 minutes, and you go hard for a minute and off for 20 seconds, and hard for a minute and off for 20 seconds until you're just exhausted. But when you say hard for a minute, that means you're almost vomiting. You're going so hard, and then you just stop, and then you go right back into exercise. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done, and I just modified it to last for 45 minutes. There you go. That's how I do every day. I feel good. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna as soon as I get this fucking surgery over with, I'm gonna go do Whitney. Got to.
Man, that's pretty
It's intense.
hardcore.
Yeah, I know. I know. My life is what's fucking next. That's how I feel about it.
No, but that's good. It's good to like it's never too late to like learn new things and kind of change your life in different ways.
Yeah,
Like
people
the
are
last,
afraid to change.
yeah, like the last probably like month, 2 months. Um, I've been eating like a lot cleaner and like working out a lot more. And I could definitely feel it like in my like day to day, like just living,
Yeah,
like
man.
at work, like getting like in and out of vehicles or like just doing things. I feel like more like lighter on my feet. I feel more flexible.
Yeah.
Um, so it definitely feels good when you're doing something. Then you kind of you notice like the results. I think a lot of people, that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people kind of delay or procrastinate on like working out and eating healthy, because there's no like instant gratification. You're not going to get a six pack going one day to the gym.
Right.
And a lot of times it's very slow, especially for people that are very new to like working out and eating cleaner, because it's a lot of like trial and error.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot of figuring out what you need to eat and
Oh my
what's
god,
good for you, what's
definitely.
not. And I think that, I mean, obviously that's going to delay the results, the progress. um and a lot of people kind of give up during that stage of it,
Yep.
so you
Well,
kind of
I
just have
did.
to.
I did. I
Yeah.
flexed in and out of it for a couple of years because, I would work out for a while and try to eat clean and do a lot of research, and then the research is, you know, one study says no, one study says yes, and you're like, fuck, I don't know. And I'm not seeing anything, so y- I'll slack off for a while, and then but now after seven, like it's been 7 8 years now, I've got abs and lots of fucking energy, and I sleep well, and I see all the results. And I actually went out to dinner um, the other day and had vegan food, but it was processed vegan food. Shit made me sick, dude.
Did
Yeah,
it?
I mean, yeah, oh, yeah. If I can't hardly eat in a restaurant anymore, and because it makes me ill. I eat so much. I eat so clean that the slightest deviation can throw me off. What That's not good. I mean, in our culture, because when you're traveling across the country or some shit, it's hard to eat whole foods when you're on the road.
Hmm.
So I've fucked myself out of traveling.
No, well,
I
for me, probably like, I want to say maybe close to a month ago. I It was like one day after work. It was probably around like 3:30. Like my stomach like just hurt like out of nowhere. And it was a pain that I didn't recognize before. Like it wasn't heartburn, it wasn't um like gas, you know? So it hurt probably for like 5-10 minutes. I like chugged the whole bottle of water, and it like went away, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, whatever." I didn't think much of it. So this was on a Friday. That following Monday in the morning when I was getting ready for work, that same pain came back. Um, Except it was more like severe, like the pain, and it lasted longer. It lasted probably about an hour. And while I was getting ready for work, I was like, man, this like it's like to the point where I can't really like I can't just ignore the pain, you know? So I was gonna go to the urgent care that morning, and on my way to the urgent care, like the pain just like went away. So I was like, fuck, I'll just go to work, you know?
Yeah.
So that was on a Monday. I was fine all week. Um, and then the following Monday, um, like that Monday night. So the first pain was on a Friday, and then that that Monday again, and then I was good for a whole week, and then the following Monday night, I was it came back and it was like, but it was like 9 p.m. So I was good all day. Came back like at 9 p.m. And this time it lasted for like hours. Like I fell asleep probably like around 11. I was trying to just like sleep it off. And then I woke up at like 12:30 and it was like still hurting to the point where like I couldn't go back to sleep.
Wow,
So I was
dude.
like, fuck. So I went to the ER, and in the ER while I was waiting like to be called back, um, it like the pain went away. So I was like, fuck, they're gonna charge me a shit ton of money, like just to see a doctor here. And it's not even hurting. So it's kind of hard to like,
Justify
explain.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went home, but I went to the urgent care like that morning. Um, and I explained the situation, the pain, and like where exactly it was. And he's like, okay, so we're gonna like they took some blood, um, and then he ordered like an ultrasound of like my whole abdomen. And I was thinking back, like after that, I went home, and I was like thinking back to every like instance of when my stomach hurt, and because it seemed very like um, the only thing that I picked up was each time it lasted longer. Um, so the first time it was like 5-10 minutes, and then like an hour, and then like 6 hours. So I was thinking back to like what did I eat beforehand, like um, trying to find like some sort of like common denominator,
Yeah.
because that was like the only symptom I had. There was no like fatigue, there's no vomiting, there was nothing else. It was just a pain. And I thought back, and every single instance of when it hurt, like prior to that, I was like, I ate something like bad, like junk food or something greasy or like beef. Um, and like the first time I had like pizza for lunch, and it didn't really hurt that bad. That was like the short one. Second time, like the night before, I ate like a Jack in the Box, like those like
Yeah.
munchy meal things where it's like fries and like the sandwich and like two tacos. And then the third time, I just had like a burger and fries like for lunch that day. So I was like, what the heck? So ever since that third time, after I went to the urgent care, like like cut it completely. Like I've been eating like super clean. I only drink water, like only. And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm used to like I don't really drink like I don't drink soda. I don't really drink juice because I don't really care too much for like sweet drinks. Like I always get iced tea, like unsweetened iced tea everywhere I go. But so I just started drinking water, started eating healthier, like no like fried food, no and no beef. Those are the two main things I cut out, beef and fried food. And this was probably, let me see. I went to the ER probably like on the 31st maybe.
Yeah. And
and
nothing since then.
nothing since then. My blood work came back and everything's normal. My ultrasound's not till the 23rd, um, just to check it out. But I mean, at first the doctor thought it was maybe like gallstones or like a gallbladder issue, but nothing came back in the blood work. Everything was, normal. And then, so he's thinking maybe it's an ulcer, like a stomach ulcer,
Yeah.
um, that's being triggered by like, the shitty food.
Yeah.
Um,
Shitty food is bad for you, man.
yeah. But for me, it was just very like, because it kind of like came out of nowhere, I mean, I've been eating like shitty food like my whole life,
Right.
but and this pain, like I said, it was different. Like I've had heartburn, I've had gas before, and it was just different. It was like more like in the center of my abdomen, like right below my sternum almost.
Yeah.
So I was like what can it be? And like the whole, like each time it like progressed, like time wise, like it was 30 minutes, then like an hour, then like 5 6 hours. So I was like, what the heck can it be? um so I mean, hopefully I find out soon, but I mean, since then I've been eating like, um I mean, I wouldn't say like 100% clean. Like I'll have um uh like an Oreo there or here or there,
Yeah.
but like I haven't eaten any fried food. I've been eating like a lot of like salads, and then I only drink water, and
That's
I've been
cool,
like
man.
good. So I think that like
That's your
that's
body fucking warning you.
yeah.
And the thing is that people don't take the warnings. That like you took the warning. You're like, all right, dude, I'm gonna try some to change my diet. A lot of people be like, what pill can you give me that I can keep eating this shitty food and not have this pain?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That I think a lot of people's remedy for that is, just give me the medicine that
Yeah.
to take when it does happen again,
Yeah.
instead of how do I make this not happen again?
I lived with for probably 15 years heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux. I had all that shit. And really, the week, like you said, the week that I changed my diet, I seriously can say, and without reservation, not telling a lie, I have not had any of those issues since I changed my diet. I've never had, I don't remember what it's like to have heartburn. And I used to have it all the time. I used to eat fucking Rolaids like they were candy. So I rarely have a headache. I, the first headache that I've had that I can remember was coming off alcohol
Hmm.
last week. I had a headache for a week. It was just that low grade. Um, um, detoxing headache. But I know I never have headaches. I don't have stomach issues. I don't have gas. I don't have diarrhea. I don't have any of that shit. It's all gone. And I try to tell people, dude, the food you eat. I don't give a fuck if you exercise. Really, I don't. If you could get enough exercise just throughout your day, if you would just clean up your fucking diet, your health would change drastically. But they
Yeah.
can't do it. You can't do it. It's like I'm going to the gym so I can continue to eat pizza. Well, that's not the way it works, dildo. That's not how this. That's not what your body's asking you to do for it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like it's hard for people to do like big change.
it is, man. I thrive on it though. I thrive on completely changing, everything I do. Like uh, when I hear about things like TB12, I'm like, I got to try that. When I hear about
Mhm.
like this this last 6 months, I've been doing this thing called monk mode. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's like 2 hours a day where you concentrate on one thing you want to do well. And regardless of how you feel or how tired you are, how much time you have, 2 hours a day, so I've been writing a lot and I'm pumping out another book. And every 30 days, I change what I'm doing to keep it new. Like I've played guitar for 2 hours a day for a month, but it's the mind of a monk. You just fucking focus on one particular thing, and it really does help. It really does get things done. I've knocked shit off my list that's been on there for years, man. Feeling good. I don't know. I like I said, I thrive on complete and utter disruption of my life. I hate routine. I I don't like to be doing the same thing all the time. It's so
You're like the
I'm
opposite of human nature.
I am. I don't know why. I don't know what happened in my life that I'm like this. Like I guess I guess I'm just I want to be a better person, and I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people take that as pretentious, but no, I want to be a better fucking person. I have this real curiosity of what it's like to be optimal healthy. I didn't have it 6 years ago. I 7 years ago I had what it was like to have chronic diarrhea and headaches. but but no, I've always been, hey, let's fucking move to West Virginia. Okay.
Very spontaneous.
I am. I am. I'm, I've lost a lot of relationships because of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's definitely because it's not so common and not many people are like that. I feel like somebody who's not like that, being with somebody who is like that,
Yeah.
it's just very, it's a hard thing to mesh with, you know?
Yeah, it's probably scary. It probably is for them. Because a lot of people like stability because stability gives you a future and it gives you, it's like, well, here's my
Security and
career. Yeah, here's my career and here's my husband's career and here's what we're going to do and here's what we're going to build and here's what we're going to buy, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm not going to do this anymore. but, but Laura's like, okay, what are you going to do next? I'm like, I'm going to try this, and she's like, go for it.
yeah.
So I have a good partner when it comes to my insanity, is what I call it. It's insanity. It is. But I'm living this cool life where I've gotten to do a lot of different things, lot of different careers, a lot in the military, and then I get interested in like rock climbing, and then I go do that for a while, jump out of planes, and I want to go climb a mountain, and it's all this cool shit that I think is adventurous and fun that a lot of people take as like, you can't do that with your life, because what are you going to do in 10 years when you're 67 years old? Like, I'll be 67 and we'll figure it out then. you know
Yeah.
I'm not.
Like I said, kind of, day by day, go with the flow type of thing.
Yeah, they tell you to live in the moment, and when you start living in the moment, they're like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. But you told me to. But my anxiety's gone. I'm not on any medication, all the good things. And I'm glad that I wish that when I was your age, I would have realized what you're beginning to realize. But when I was 28, none of that science was popular. None of that shit was popular. It was like, eat fast food and, you know, snort coke and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Don't worry about it. So now there's a push for health, and your generation is actually starting to fucking wake up, and that's perfect. I love that. I get to hang around with you guys, and these old motherfuckers can go to hell.
No, yeah, it's definitely. I think, especially, I'd say probably the last like 2 or 3 generations. There's like this. It's almost like a paradigm shift in how they think, like in a multitude of ways,
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's a good thing because people are starting to like, you know, come to the conclusion that just because things have been like the status quo for decades, even some things even centuries, doesn't mean it's the best way to do these things
Right.
or the optimal way or the right way, um because I mean, for the longest, I think a lot of people were kind of like growing up in society, like there's a lot of things that are pretty like fucked up, but we just don't think about them because that's just how things are.
Yeah, we
Um,
we actually glorify some of the fucked up shit li- through TikTok, and things that go viral are fucked up, like the Karen situation. That shit was fucked up, man, and we thought it was we glorified it, made it funny, and it's not fucking funny when you're a 20-year-old working in retail and you got to put up with some fucking asshole like that. That's not funny. That's stressful and damaging.
yeah. So I mean, I definitely think um, there's like a shift. Like I think we're in the early beginnings of like a big like movement or like a series of movements
Yeah,
of
I,
people,
I think so.
fighting like the establishment and people fighting against, just what they've been told is right their whole lives, which, there's a lot of, questioning and a lot of skepticism, or what is it? Skepticism,
Skepticism.
skepticism.
Skepticism, yeah.
um, which I think is it's a good thing because you should always question authority. There's always like a healthy level of skepticism that people should have because I always say like I don't blindly trust anything or anybody. Like there's no one person on this in this world that I have like complete trust for. Like there's a lot of people I support and like follow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But um like if tomorrow it was to come out, like AOC is like taking bribes or some shit, I'll
You
be
wouldn't be
like
shocked. Yeah,
I'll be
okay.
like yeah, I'll be like, don't get me wrong, like I would be shocked, but at the same time I would be like, okay, then fuck AOC.
Yeah.
Um so and I think that's, you know, some people might say it's a little like pessimistic, but I also think, some level of, questioning is always good because when you blindly trust something, then that's when you become like a real sheep, as they call it.
Right. And
Um,
you set yourself up for devastating losses is what you do.
yeah,
You know, I always I'm exactly the same way. I trust people to do the right thing, but in the back of my mind, when they don't do the right thing, that little voice in my head goes, "Yep."
sounds about right.
I was talking to I so we got a new we got a new follower on one of the, I can forget which one she said, it was Pandora or the other one, but I was in the Hobby Lobby. Have you ever been in Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
It's fucking okay. She was 26, got her nose pierced. She has a degree in art. I began to talk to her because I was getting some framework done for a painting, and I said, is working here hard?" And she goes, "Yeah, it's really hard." I said, "I imagine because the people that come in here are middle aged and very set in their ways." And she goes, "Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it." And we had this long conversation, and then I turned her into the Thoroughly Wrong Project. I said, because we talk a lot about intergenerational um, problems, and she's like, "Really?" Yeah. So we got a new follower, and hi, Nikki, welcome to the Thoroughly Wrong Project. And she said that the exact same thing we say. There's this paradigm shift coming where the younger people are just beginning to dismiss that shit. They don't trust it anymore. And that's a great thing, man. That's a great
Yeah.
thing. And me being my age to accept that, I feel like it's a goddamn victory in my life to be able to turn around and go, okay, change is coming, man. Let's do this. But then that goes back to that thing that I am. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. Jump on it. Let's try
Yeah.
it because this isn't working, or this is boring, or this is monotonous, or let's try something different. And I love the way I love the way you put that about AOC. because
And don't get me wrong, I love AOC, but
I do too,
that
but I
was
was
just like
just
an
talking
example
about
of,
her yesterday to my wife. I said she's embroiled. She's already, after just a few years, embroiled in that back and forth nonsense that doesn't make any sense. It's like she's railing on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene's fucking her horse face is on the news every day, and Trump and it all seems like just one big shit show to me. AOC, Bernie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Trump, Biden, they're all the fucking same to me, dude. All of them. And I think the
I
real
think,
power is with you and your generation and not
yeah,
that mess.
yeah, because I mean, I feel like people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I mean most people on the right, they're very. It's like to them, politics is like a performance, you know?
It is performance art, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, there's some of that on both sides. Um, AOC, but AOC does a lot of like yeah, she'll like throw her little jabs back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she also does like actual like work. She's in these like committees and she's like drafting these bills and things that Marjorie Taylor Greene just doesn't do. Like she's just about sound bites and you know interviews and things like that.
Yeah. But I
So
still think the real power is with you, not them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the power's always been with like the people.
Hmm.
It's just very hard to like have people not only believe it but then use that power like collectively to do the things that they wanted to do. You know,
Yeah.
because I mean, like if you're talking purely like um what's the word? Almost like an if you're thinking of the United States as it was intended to be, used.
Right.
Um, like if you wanted to change anything, you could do it like easily. Like let's say you want to um, change, the gun laws. You know, if you're like talking like just systematically, you could elect people that want to change the gun laws, get them into office, and have them change the laws. Like the pathway is very simple, but there's in reality there's a lot of like roadblocks and a lot of like politics that get into it.
Yeah.
um
And
because I mean to
corporations,
me,
corporate money.
yeah, because I mean to me, I always tell people that to me America or like the United States, it's not a place as so much an idea. you know
Right.
the United States was always like an idea of how a country um should be run by the people and governed by the people. And when they drafted like the Constitution and all that, they try to think of a lot of ways to kind of make sure that power stays with the people and checks and balances, and they wanted to prevent another like dictator or monarch, things like that.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
obviously
almost had one.
they couldn't think of everything. It's impossible. You can't see into 300 years into the future and think of issues that might arise then. um
What are we going to do about surveillance? About what?
yeah, so that's why I would say like there's always like two people that view the government or like the Constitution in two ways. Like it's either set in stone, like if it's not in the Constitution, then oh well. And then there's people that see it as like a living document, something that should be updated and amended over time. And that's how I
Yeah.
see it. Because I mean, to base decades and centuries of a society on a document that was made almost 300 years ago, like to me that just sounds insane. Like that's ridiculous. But I mean, then again, people follow the Bible all the time, and that's like
Right.
2000 years old. So I don't know, to me it's just um it's a crazy time we're living in, but it's definitely switching or changing. And something I've wondered for a while is what like caused that change. Because I mean, if you look back, like every generation, like every young generation has dealt with like not the same, but very similar things to what the young generations are dealing with now, you know.
Right.
It's always like hardships, and it's always, you know, trying to fit in with, you know, status quos and stuff like that. So I would want to like research or like, you know, do some sort of like study on like why these generations, like what made them like fed up, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've
You mean
had
the
like,
current one? Like in the '60s, it was the establishment was overthrown, and
yeah, because I
um,
mean, you've had like the hippie movement, you have like the civil rights movement, you've had, you know, even like the Great Depression. Like, there's
yeah,
always been like bad shit that's caused people to like revolt and, you know, fight the establishment. But I just see it as like, it might not seem like such a big thing now, but I think in like 50, 60, 70 years, we're going to look back at like, uh, probably like 2015, maybe to like 20, I don't know how long it's going to last, maybe like 2035, like those, you know, 20 years. I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes in the way people think and the way people act,
yeah.
and then that reflect in our policies and our politics and our laws.
Well, the catalyst is rarely something good. I mean, it's always something bad.
Right.
It's always has to be the catalyst. Always has to be a pushback. So it may be Trump. I mean, I hate to say it, but that may be the era that we push back. We started pushing back.
I think so. I think what Trump did, or just him being in office, kind of, it he drew out the side of people that a lot of people kept like hidden for a long time, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He did.
And I think when that happened, because I mean, I don't think that's not the majority of people. You know, he has his base and he has like his minority that's like pretty strong, you know. But when they came out of the woodwork and kind of just like revealed themselves, I think a majority of people thought like, "Whoa, you know, like what is
Yeah,
this?"
like
And
the last vestiges of racism and hate and corruption. We see it now. It's like it's
yeah,
still here, even after all these years of trying to be, preach equality and wages, equal wages, and for the people, and all of a sudden these flag waving fucking maniacs are up screaming and about lynchings, and it's crazy, man. All of a sudden it just I think it woke us up.
yeah. So I think a lot of people that probably weren't, I wouldn't say they were oblivious to it, but they didn't, you know, pay that much attention to it, to things like racism and like bigotry and, you
Yeah,
know, classism. I think, you know, during the Trump years, it was very visible. And I think for a lot of people that was like, whoa, like that's still a thing, you know. People still
yeah,
think this way. And I mean, it's a lot of people. It might not be the majority, but it's still a lot of people, you know, especially in like certain parts of the country.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that was, and to be honest, like the Trump thing, it wasn't like this one singular like major event, you know, that just happened like one day. You know, it wasn't like a 9/11. It wasn't like a, it was more of a, you know, that era that was just like, to me it was almost like a blur, you know.
yeah,
And then you like blink of an eye and it's like Trump, and then like COVID right after. I think those two things, um, are gonna be like, looking back, are gonna be like the two biggest catalysts. Trump more for like social things, you know, like racism, bigotry, stuff like that. And then I think COVID really exposed a lot of people to like true like classism in the United States when it
yeah,
comes to like economic wealth and economic status. And how our economy really works to where it benefits, like, the people at the top. Because
Well, if
the
you're
whole
gonna do
time,
that, go ahead.
I was gonna say, because the whole time, like during COVID, like, you're getting beaten over the head with, this is a terrible thing. You know, people are losing their jobs, people are losing their homes, but at the same time, like every other headline is, you know, Boeing record profits,
Yeah.
Exxon record profits, and I think a lot of people look at that and their brain is just like, what, like, what's going on,
Well, how about now when all the what were mainstream media called conspiracy theories are actually now coming out as truth about the COVID and about the lockdowns and all the vaccines and all the shit that's actually coming to truth now. And how about all the fucking people that lost out during COVID because they listened and they did what they were told to do. They lost their homes, they lost their job, they lost their savings, they lost their investments, and now it comes out like, well, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Well, what the fuck you mean you shouldn't have done that? I did what you told me to do and I lost everything. So there's that anger towards the establishment. And you mentioned something really, I was going to say, if you're going to write a paper about it, you could start at 9/11. That's when the 90s, in the 90s, there was the grunge movement and drugs and fun and freedom and all kinds of shit, and then that happened, and that put us in fear, and the government threw a blanket of fear over us that lasted for about a decade and a half, and now we're at 2016. Trump comes to light, COVID comes in, and now people are starting to wake up to the fact that government has just plunged us into fear. And Trump was about keeping people down, and COVID was about keeping people down. And all of a sudden, we don't want to be down anymore because we're realizing you fucking lied to us, and you've been lying to us, and you've been stealing from us, and surveilling us and gathering data on us and trying to keep us in this place of darkness and fear where we shouldn't be as a country.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just like, they're cutting through all like the BS,
Yep.
and they're able to see, and not only to see but to realize that things don't have to be the way they are right now,
Yep. They don't.
because you know it's a shitty way to have things be that only benefits a handful of people. And uh, those same people are like the ones telling you like, oh no, like this is good, like this is how things are, and work hard, and you'll be here one day, but you're never going to be there, and I think
Work
that,
hard, and someday you're going to have trouble getting your yacht out under the bridge.
yeah, and I mean, I think that lie, when people feed that lie to people, it like makes people like falsely believe in themselves, but also like falsely believe in like the system,
Yeah.
um because I mean, chances of like your average person becoming part of the 1%, even like 10%, um is extremely low, like
Yep.
extremely low.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that part, they just tell that it's possible. And if someone hears that something is possible, a lot of people take it as, oh well, if it's possible, then it's probable, you know
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Possible doesn't mean probable.
um so I think people are starting to realize that that's not how it works, at least not in the current system we have.
Huh.
So yay for socialism.
Yay for socialism. A point for capitalism. A point taken away. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Well, another there we are. Another hour of your life. That you've got 50 over probably over 65, 70 hours in this now. We're doing
That's a long
good.
time. It's like a
Yeah,
whole
I
work week.
wonder, are we accruing vacation or anything?
Well, I am, but not for this.
All right, man. Well, good luck in your Super Bowl today.
Thanks.
I'm probably going to have to root against you because, I have a Kansas City fan in the house, and,
Hey, that's fine. That's understandable. I
yeah,
mean, I
she
wouldn't be
has.
mad if the Chiefs win. I just don't want them to win, you know? There's a difference. I don't hate the Chiefs. For me, it's more about Mahomes, like not being the greatest. But I mean, even if he wins this one, he's still not the greatest. He's still got a ways to go, but he's getting closer.
We'll see the average. If you look at it, if he's 27 and he has one right now, even if he gets two, next year he's 28, and I'd say the average age of the quarterbacks not it's not 42. It's not Tom Brady. You don't have a lot
Yeah.
of fucking 40-year-old quarterbacks out there.
I
So
mean, at
he's got
27, Tom Brady had 3 rings, so there's that.
yeah. So there you go. He'll never make it. He'll never beat Tom.
Well, Patrick has the best odds right now out of any quarterback to even be in like the conversation.
Well, he has a high ankle sprain too, so let's
True.
all right. So we're good. And he's not on the TB12 diet, so to hell with him. He's out there trying to get buff, and it won't work.
Hey, when you're that young, you don't need to be on the TV12 diet. You could just probably can have a cheeseburger before the game and be fine.
Well, let's hope he does and gets one of those pains you're talking about. All right, dude. I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
All right, man. I guess this has been the Thoroughly Wrong Project again, and we got a new listener. And again, Nick, tell everybody to listen to it, because why not? Later.
To get a pitch.
Yeah, tell everybody to listen to us, because why not? Later, man.
Later.
You have been listening to the Thoroughly Wrong Project with your hosts, Francisco and Robert. If you enjoyed today's show, like, follow, leave a comment, and then look in the description where you'll find our website, Instagram, and Twitter feeds. Until next time, thanks for listening. And just remember, never be afraid to be thoroughly wrong.